You know, God, one of his names is not God the Taker. Is that his name? El Shaddai, the provider. He will force his provision upon you. That's how good he is. That's how powerful he is. But you have to be willing to receive it. It's up to you. Are you a steward of God's money? Or do you have your money? God tells you to give, and it's his money. Who is the responsibility on to replenish? God. But what kind of nerve does it take to trust God with your money? You wonder why you don't grow in the things of God like you want to grow, and you've never learned to trust him. If you won't trust him with your money, when you go to trusting him trying to believe for a healing, you've got a big problem.
Right.
You're still a house divided. You're trying to slip your health out of this section where you've been keeping it based on how much money you have. And now you're trying to slide it over here to this section where you believe God resides, but you don't really believe him. How do you know? Because you don't tithe. You don't trust him with your money. Your money represents your life. Because you spent lifetime to attain the money. God gave you the life. And you never even realize it. Most dead people don't earn too much. When can we get to trusting him? Just see, isn't this an individual thing? Doesn't this get really individual? Do I trust the Lord? Do I trust him? Do I really believe he's a giver? Do I really believe? You know, I wrote some scriptures down. Turn to 1 Chronicles. We know that David, because he messed up, wasn't allowed to build the temple of God. God wanted his son to do it, right? So David, his job then became to getting all the stuff necessary for his son to be able to build the temple when he turned things over to his son. So here in 1 Chronicles, it tells a little bit about that. 1 Chronicles chapter 29. And we'll read verses 3 through 16. This is all from the Amplified Bible. It says, "Moreover, because I set my affections on the house of my God, in addition to all I have prepared for the holy house." In other words, the country of Israel had set aside, under King David, in the country treasury, money to build the temple with. That's what David had been doing, setting aside, gathering the material, the building material, whatever is needed to build the temple. He was making things easy for his son. So when King Solomon came in, he could build the temple. So he's saying, moreover, and said, in addition to that, that's what he's saying, because I set my affections on the house of my God. He did what? Set his affections. In addition to all I have prepared for the holy house, I have a private treasure of gold and silver, which I give for the house of my God. It is 3,000 talents of gold. I think they figure that's something like, I might be wrong, I'm just trying to remember offhand, that's something like, I think, 70 tons of gold. And then he said, gold of Ophir, 700 talents of refined silver for overlaying the walls of the house, gold for the uses of gold, silver for the uses of silver, and every work to be done by craftsmen. Now who will offer willingly to fill his hand and consecrate it today to the Lord, like one consecrating himself to the priesthood? Now he's asking the people. He's just like at a church service. He's saying, who of you in here are willing to do? Look, this is what I'm willing to do. He's not doing it to brag. He's just doing it to show that he's willing to do it. If I tell you how much we tithe, I'm not doing it to brag. I'm doing it to show that I believe this stuff. Pastor Jack and I tithes and offerings are more than some of you in here make. Why? Because we have a lot? No, you can go find out how much I make. I'm a county retiree. It's no big secret how much I make. That and Social Security. How is it someone on Social Security and a retirement that started in 1991, I've been retired for 25 years. You know how they say, retirement incomes, they dwindle and you can't live like you used to live. After a while, you're going to need to go get a job. Social Security won't provide for you. You're going to need to go back to work. How is it someone on Social Security and a 25-year-old retirement can pay tithes and offerings of more than some of you make? It gets embarrassing. You say, you got that old car. I could go buy a car tomorrow for cash. Am I bragging? No, I want you to know how the Lord does things. It's not me. I got a high school education. It's God. I just want if you just learn to trust God. I tell you, just trust Him for a year. I don't care what it takes. Tithe for a year. Say, Pastor, I can't. Yes, you can. If your heart is right, yes, you can. You start today and say, I'm going to tithe off of every penny that comes into my hands. You say, well, I got to pay the bills. And pay the bills. And don't make any more. And when that bill is paid off, add it to your tithe. And then when the next bill is paid off, add it to your tithe. You've been giving it to the man. Don't tell me you can't do it. You can do it. But God looks at your heart. If you'll just make the commitment, God will take care of the rest. All of a sudden you say, God, I'm a steward over this money. None of it is mine. It's up to you to supply it. It's up to you to replace it. It's up to you to tell me what to do with it. Look what the congregation did. He said, now who will offer, verse 5, now who will offer willingly to fill his hand and consecrate it today to the Lord, like one consecrating himself to the priesthood? Then the chiefs, this is the congregation, the chiefs of the fathers and princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and the rulers of the king's work, offered willingly, and gave for the service of the house of God gold 5,000 talents. That's more tons of gold than David gave. This is tons of gold, you guys. This is coming from the congregation, not from David. This is in addition to what the country had already set aside. They're dedicated, they say, this is going to be the finest house that has ever been built, because this house is going to do what? Give glory to God. Our way of giving glory to God now is through our prospering to the point that we make these people, the descendants of these people, till we make them jealous because of our prosperity. How are we going to do that on our job? We can't do that. You can't do that from Social Security, Pastor. You can't do it from a county retirement. But you can do it when God is your source. People ask you, well, Pastor, why is it that, I remember when the first time someone asked me something like this. It's a fellow I was working with. And he said, look, we make the same amount of money. And we did. He said, and I'm single. At the time, I had a new car. And he said, I'm single, and you're married, and you have 3 kids. It's 5 of you guys. It's only 1 of me. And he said, I can just barely make it from month to month on what we make. How is it you're buying a new car and you're taking care of those people? He said, because I tithe. I tithe. And I believe, I won't back up on this, I believe with all my heart that your tithe, your offering should be greater than your tithe. So when I tell you I tithe, our offerings, Pastor Jack and our offerings, she a percentage of income, her offerings are far more than 10% of her tithe. Of her income. We ride down the street and Jack said, pull over. I want to give that guy $20. You know that guy? I look at him. I say, no, pulling those trash cans. I don't guess that's someone you know. And she just, why? The Lord put it on her heart. It's the Lord's money. He tells you to give it. What should you do? Give it. Let me finish reading this because we're going to receive our offering. We're going to do it quickly. It says 18 talents, 10,000 talents of iron, verse 8. And whoever had precious stone gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord in the care of Jethro the Gershonite. Well, I want to read down here. You can read down, but I want you to see something in verse verse 12. Both riches and honor come from you. This is David praying to the Lord. And you reign over all. In your hands are power and might. In your hands it is to make great and to make small. Now therefore, our God, we thank you and praise your glorious name and those attributes which thy name denotes. But who am I and what are my people that we should retain strength and be able to offer thus so willingly? It's a question. For all things come from you, and out of your own hand we have given you. He said, we received this from you, Father. The only thing I'm doing is giving back to you what you handed to me. That's a steward. He says, this isn't mine, it's yours. It's verse 16. This is the people praying, Lord our God, all this store that we have prepared to build your house for your holy name and a token of your prestige comes from your hands and is all your own. All those tons of gold that these people are giving, you know what they thought about money? The same thing you think about money. How great it is to have it. But they knew something. They knew that it wasn't their money, it was his money. It's your money, God. What do you want me to do with it? Now it's up to you to see to it that the bills are paid. It's up to you to see to it that we have the money to do and to give unto every good work. Teach me, Father, to be a good steward. And what I had said before the service started, I don't want you to change a penny that you were going to give. But I do want you, as you give, to change your attitude. From this day forward, just say, I'm a steward over your money, Father. You tell me where to spend it. You tell me what to give. After all, it's your money, Father. It's not mine. The secret to financial prosperity is right here. It's becoming a steward. We're talking about many billions of dollars that these people gave that day. One offering, one service. Isn't it great that they had it to give? Amen. Wouldn't it be great if after we left out of this offering, I could go and take to the bank and say, how many accounts do I need to put these billions of dollars in? because the congregation here just decided they wanted a work done for the Lord. Can't we just go through life and make some quality decisions where I'm not going to finish this life like I started? I've done it my way. The Word tells us there are many plans and devices in the mind of a man that a man thinks are right. He says, but consider your ways. He says, you made a lot, but it's come to nothing. He's saying, consider your ways. Did it really work? Are you really getting there? Are you to the place where you're embarrassed to tell people how much money you have and how you're blessed? I just look at the blessings that we have. I've been saying something which wasn't untrue, because the cars that we rent, you know, I tell you, when we rent places, I got our 19-year-old car, 15-year-old car, our old car sitting out there. And when we get ready to go someplace, we, go rent a car. And so when we decided to go to Texas, we rented a standard-sized car. And the night before we picked it up, the guy calls me and says, look, you're going to pick up the car tomorrow? I say, yeah, we're going to pick it up. He says, well, what we have for you is a Lincoln MKZ. Well, I didn't even know what a Lincoln MKZ is, because I'm not in the market for a car. I had never heard of it. I asked the guy what to him probably sounded like a stupid question. I say, is it enough room for someone to sit in the back seat comfortably? It's going to be 3 of us. And he says, oh, yeah, you'll like it. There's plenty of room. Had 6,000 miles on it. It was virtually new. We rented it for a month. So we were going up to Sacramento here this couple of weekends ago. Had to rent a car. So we have a 1999 Ultimate down there. And the guy says, well, okay, when I get there, he says, I've got an Ultima here. Is that all right? I said, well, it's okay for me. That's what I drive. He says, well, this one only has 800 miles on it. Brand spanking new. It still had the new car smell. Who did that? Could I tell them I want a new car with 800 miles on it? No, it'd give me the biggest jalopy, I think, if it was on me, but it's not on me. The Lord will see to it that you're blessed, that you're taken care of. You don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to do it the way you've done it in the past. And I know that it can be intimidating to think, I'm going to make a commitment. I'm just going to go all in for God. It's the best commitment. It's the best decision that anyone could ever make. You talk about joy unspeakable and full of glory. Things happen. We're waiting for the full manifestation of our healing. I know Pastor Jackie is. And you know what? Pastor Jackie prays for stuff, and it's happening so quick when she prays for it. Her healing hasn't fully manifested yet, but she's healed. But it's to the point that she prays for something, it's almost like it's a matter of just hours. I don't mean days or weeks. I'd say you have to really watch what you're praying for. This is something as fast as these things are happening. That's all God. I have nothing to do with it. Because of our goodness? No. Because we're committed to Him. To let Him show Himself strong in our lives. Church, I'm just extolling you or exhorting you or trying to motivate you or inspire you. Trust God. Just for a period of your life. Just trust Him. Not a qualified trust, just trust Him. If He doesn't come through, I've said many a time, and I mean it, I will go right up to God and I will ask Him, why? I did it your way, Father. Why didn't this happen? I might think I'm doing it His way and not be. But I'm going to ask Him. If there's anything He said in His Word and I believe I'm doing it or did it, I will ask Him why. Where did I miss it? What was wrong? I know it's not wrong with you, Father. I want to know where I missed it, because I couldn't understand it any. I couldn't have had a heart more sincere to the state of my ability mentally to understand it and believe it. I did that. Why, Father? Why? And that's okay with him because he said, come, let us reason together. It's okay for us to ask him. So anyway, that's going to conclude our lesson. If you